This is a second video to job 24115. There's a couple things I wanted to show from the bid form so that you have clarification on the details. So I'm going to click to the bid form. Let's start right at the top. Asphalt crack seal application, 26,700 lineal feet. Pretty self-explanatory. There's not that much out there, but we need to bid that to be apples to apples. Okay, and then the next one, pavement marking application. It says 22,590 square yards. I'm basically plugging in all the striping that's required, and the quantities will be saved on Google Drive. So we're just going to bid our striping as we normally would, take the grand total of the striping, and we'll divide it into the square yards here, so that way we can fill in a unit price on their bid form. Concrete joint seal application, we are not going to bid that, so that is excluded. Asphalt 4-inch depth, this is remove and replace. There's quite a bit out there. There's 1,248 tons of asphalt to do, and when you look at site map, all those dark areas are where we are doing asphalt repairs. So there's a large enough area in a lot of these spots that doing some grinding might pay off for us in a lot of different areas. Being that it's an open parking lot, we might be able to get a lot of this done with a 4-foot grinder. Okay, so that is that part. And you'll see that there are two different depths. We've got 4-inch depth and we've got 6-inch depth. It's all in square yards, so we need to take the quantities that are off the site plan, which on the site plan, they're all right here to the left of the page, and they're all done in square feet. So all the dimensions are there. And it shows the list of all the ones that are 4-inch and then all the ones that are 6-inch. Okay, reinforced concrete 5-inch depth. This is from 2.61. I'll show you the detail on that, but what they're wanting to do is they are wanting to rip out the existing ramp that goes into the store. So if I blow this up, you'll see there's an existing ramp right there, and in my first video it shows how the truncated dome look was all stamped in to the concrete and then just painted yellow. Well, now they want to put the ramp in 5 inches. They also want to use wire mesh on this as well. Right now it says that there is 30 square yards, so we're looking at 270 square feet. I have Exhibit A2, the master detail set, saved in Google Drive for us to review, but you'll see detail 2.61, reinforced concrete pavement restoration, 5-inch depth is what we're supposed to follow here. So we have to put in a monolithic curb out in the front going across, and we need to do the actual ramp. You'll see that it says this varies right now. And I probably should have gotten a lineal footage on that. Because right now it doesn't show that. It just all goes by square yards. Well, as I'm trying to figure that out, I see up here that it says concrete curb and gutter restoration. It says 160 feet. Okay, let me back up from that statement. That on the bid form I said the curb and gutter restoration. Just never mind that right now. We'll get to that part later. So basically what we need to do here is we need to be able to put in a lineal footage there. So I'm going to have to do an aerial measurement. Okay, I just did a measurement of the current ramp, including the wing, and it comes out to be about 22 feet. So I just did a quick street view. This is what it looks like right now. You've got it all poured. It looks like this curb might have been poured separately. I'm not positive there, but it looks like it might have been poured separately. But we're supposed to put it back in monolithically, I believe. Because when you look at this detail, it looks like it all goes in on one pour. And I thought I read in the notes that we are supposed to do this ramp and then pour the curbing monolithically. So this will all be one big pour. We'll end up saw cutting this, and then we'll end up taking this out. Instead of doing this, we're going to end up putting in a 2 foot. It'll be like a 2 foot by 20 foot. Actually, not 20 feet. Okay, let me back up a little bit more. So the truncated domes on the yellow mat area will be a 2 foot by 20, about 22 feet. On here, it kind of shows you that it says minimum allowable curb counter slope. It has a 20 there and a 12. What this ends up being is about 20 feet by 2 feet of truncated dome. And then you've got these wings on the side that are approximately about 10 feet. So if I do this measurement where the actual wings are, and I capture all of the ramp, then it ends up being roughly about 31 feet. So if we plug in about 31 feet of curb and gutter, that would be the correct length. 31 feet of curb and gutter, and then truncated domes will be about a 2 foot by 22 foot, or 2 foot by 20. 2 foot by 20 on the truncated domes. We're pouring this monolithically, but I'm just letting you know right now it's about 31 feet. Where the ramp comes down, you'll see that it's flush with the asphalt, but you're looking at a depth of about 12 inches from here to here, and then you're looking at an additional looks like well, they say 5 inches on this, but that's just on the ramp. You got number 4 rebar that we have to put in there, 18-inch in length, 18-inch spacing. And on that depth there, I'm trying to find the depth for you. Well, it says 5 inches on there, but it looks like we're going to end up going an additional 12 inches to do a thickened edge. Once you go up the ramp on the wings on the side here, if we have to extend this out, there'll be a little bit of extra concrete to do for the thickened edge. It'll also be a thickened edge for the curb and gutter as we put that in. And that's really not... It's really not curb and gutter. It's just a thickened edge that goes down. So we're pouring the curb. I'm sorry, I keep saying curb and gutter. It's just monolithic curb with the sidewalk that we would have to pour back. And it has to be a thickened edge. And it'll be buried when it's flush with the asphalt. There'll be a little bit of asphalt restoration, as you can see. Okay, so I went through the detail on that reinforced concrete ramp at 5-inch depth. Now it says, note number 7, concrete curb and gutter restoration vertical, 160 feet. The areas that they show on the map are what you see in red here. Here and here. And then there's also another little area farther up, right up in here. In my first video, I show that it's extruded curbing, so we're removing 6x8 extruded curb and putting back 6x8 extruded curb. So please make that note. It's not curb and gutter. It would be weird to put a little piece of curb and gutter on here when the rest of this is extruded. Everything is extruded on here. On all these islands, they're extruded, and it would make no sense to put those in as curb and gutter. So, remove and replacement of 160 feet of 6x8 extruded curb. Okay, looking at the next bid form, next thing on the bid form, you've got drainage structure adjustment, raising. it says that there's 2 each. Okay, so that detail is 4.51B. So there's 2 catch basins that I showed in the first video, and per 4.51B, it says to raise it up. I don't think, when you watch my first video, I don't think we can raise it up 4 inches. So what we're going to do is, in the details, it says to remove a minimum of 4 inches of the concrete risers, and put back, we'll put back 4 inches. We might even have to add an additional 1. Actually, we don't. If we remove 4 inches of old riser, we could put in 4 inches of new and adjust the catch basin so it'll look straight. Right now, it was a little crooked out there. In my first video, I showed both of them. One of them was worse than the other, but overall, there's 2 of them that we need to plan on removing the catch basin lid, taking a minimum 4 inches of riser out and putting back 4 inches. Okay, so in the exhibit A1 on the low scope specs, I have this saved in Google Drive, 4.51B. It says the existing structure is to have all deteriorated material removed to the depth as specified and/or as necessary. Precast concrete is to be saw cut, wet, and removed. There's no concrete around it except for the risers. The adjustment shall be done by block and/or precast concrete riser rings, all with a minimum wall thickness of 4 inches. So it needs to be a minimum of 4-inch thickness. All concrete rings shall be placed in a 1/4 inch minimum bed of mortar. So you got to put a little bit of mortar in there and then stick your riser down on it. So if we plug in 4-inch riser to be removed and replaced out of that catch basin, I think it would be best to do. I didn't have my bar handy. I took it out of my car. I don't know why, but I went to look at it in the first video and realized it wasn't in there. But it's in there now. Adjustment heights are anticipated to be no more than 4 inches. Okay, so we're really just plugging in to put in a 4-inch riser, take it out, and put back a 4-inch riser, and then we'll straighten up that catch basin. When you look on the map, those 2 catch basins, if you were to look at the front of the store and you go up the page here a little bit, here's one right here. Actually, no, that's not one. Here's one right here. There's one right here. It says, 4.51B. 4.51B is one of the locations. And then the other location is, let me see where it's at. Okay, here's the other location. You got one right here, and I showed this in my first video. And then the next one, which I'm not sure if I showed this one or not in my first video, but that's the second one right there. So there's 2 of them that need a 4-inch riser removed and replaced. And then we go to do the asphalt patch, we'll be able to have that all corrected. It says in the notes just to reuse the catch basin lid, which in my first video I said they looked fine. So that's all we have to do on that for 4.51B. Alright, I'm hoping this video helps. Alright, drainage. So then now number 9, 4.61, drainage structure restoration. Top 12-inch depth. It says 2 each. According to the map, it is right here, which is about 2 rows up from the ADA area. You've got one there, 4.61B. And the other one is back here on the first row, right in that location, right there. It says 4.61, not 4.61B. It's just 4.61. Okay, the one up there, and then the other one down there. So 2 each there. So it's the same kind of detail here, but I think what they're wanting to do is they want to remove a little bit more asphalt around the catch basin at a certain depth. It's still mentioning to replace at least a minimum of 4-inch of riser ring, concrete riser ring on both of them. So plug in for 2 more catch basins to need a 4-inch riser removed and 4-inch riser replaced. Okay, it might need a little assistance on this one, but here's the detail. When you go to Exhibit A2 and you scroll down to the drainage structures on 4.61, it says restoration of the top 12 to 36 inch depth, catch basin wall repair. So this is the wall repair. There's your risers, right? Your risers are there. This is a wall repair, and it's saying 12 to 36 inches of wall repair. So I'm not positive what we need to do there exactly. But, you know, after looking at the catch basins that were out there, they didn't look like they were in bad shape. But I might need a little assistance on that to understand what we need to do there, because it sounds like we need to replace or fix at least 12 inches of the actual catch basin wall that's underneath the risers. So need a little bit of clarification on that from our team. Let's get down here to the last item. It's wheel stop installation, and there's 14 of them. So the wheel stop restoration is in the ADA stalls, and the detail is on, there's an enlargement on the same site plan that shows you the wheel stops in the ADA stalls. What's weird is I see 14 of them here, but it says 13 in the count. Oh, I'm sorry. It says 14, so that's correct. 14 wheel stops in the handicap stall area. And the other thing too with that is, in my first video, I mentioned that the bollards, they're not on this list, and the reason why they're not is because they've already been plugged in. I think SPS was the company that did the bollards and ADA signs. But here's your detail on the wheel stop. It's a slotted wheel stop. Okay, it's your I believe 12-inch wide, and it's going to be probably about anywhere from 5 to 6 inch height on there. But they're slotted wheel stops, so we will bid slotted wheel stops. One thing I wanted to go back to was that reinforced concrete 5-inch depth. It said in the notes that we're supposed to use a wire mesh in there, so I wanted to make note of that we need to use wire mesh on that ramp that's over here that goes into the store, the area in brown. We have to use a wire mesh. It also says to use number 4 rebar in it. Okay, I hope that helped out as far as understanding some of the details and where I got the details on Exhibit A1 and A2. Hopefully that'll be easier to watch on the video than try to pull up the actual sheets. All right, thanks.